you know, there's so much that could be said about his music. And it seems like he sort of started this wonderful journey back in, I think it was 2018. He put out Fort Island. Oh man, that's such a good album. It's sort of one of those short but sweet kind of things. It really hits all the right spots for me. You know, it has the perfect melody, chord progression, song structure. From what I understand, lyrical themes. I don't know exactly what he's saying because I don't speak Czech. But everything just kind of hits the right notes. And it wasn't until, a little bit after Soda Reserve Journey came out that I found out about him. Shout out to James Webster. So that's back in 2019 when the album came out. That album was just perfection. I mean, start to finish, every single song is just spot on. And it's been a couple years since we've had a really, strong, full-length album come out from Tsuji. We've had a couple releases since then in terms of singles. So there was a split / collaboration. There's After Awas with Nabis, and they're like a Japanese hip-hop duo. That came out on a 7-inch. We had Promise of Summer come out on Heraith Records, which is the Yornt, aka Cat System Corpse label. This is like a 12-inch, 45 RPM kind of thing. Great, fantastic song, absolutely a must-own. Tsuji did a collab with a group called Donor Lens. Song's called I Wanna. It was released on this really cool single format. It's really nice. There was the World's Most Precious Cows compilation that was organized by Every Day, I think. It was from YY Music World Resort. That's this, essentially. This is unofficial. This is just a bootleg sort of thing, but don't worry. You can listen to it on Spotify. And on that, Tsuji released a song called Moo Moo Land, which is actually on My Room, which is what we're going to talk about. My Room is a new record from Tsudio Studio, coming out this year, November of 2022, on Catskill Records. The record by my good friend Pad Chennington. I couldn't be happier for everybody involved. This is a huge thing for Tsuji, for Pad, for fans of his music, for everybody, frankly. So far, Tsuji has kind of worked somewhat exclusively with Japanese labels to release everything, which is makes perfect sense. This seems to be his first big release with a Western label. I mean, yes, there was the Promise of Summer release. However, that's it's a single. This is his new full-length album, and I'm super happy for him. I think this is going to be great. Hopefully it'll be a lot more exposure that he so desperately deserves, because this guy is a musical genius. I have nothing but respect for Tsuji. So when the album starts, we get treated to this lovely track called Ancient Bossa. It's about a minute and a half long. Somewhat disconnected, feels very radio interference. It reminds me of kind of Signal Wave a little bit. Really nice intro track. Great way to start the record. And it's kind of like this almost introspective journey a little bit. And it takes us right into the title track, My Room. And My Room is just the most fantastic club banger, dance hit that this album is all about. I mean, there's a few tracks on My Room that are not, totally just, go, go, go. There are definitely some slow moments, but My Room really does kind of set the tone for the album. and what a tone it sets. It's a perfect song. It's funky, it's interesting, it's got this great hook. It's a fantastic way to start the record out, and it just sounds absolutely amazing. It's been available on Spotify for a little while now, so if you haven't heard it already, definitely go check it out, or check out the whole album, because by the time you're watching this, the whole album will probably be out. And then next up, we are treated to After Our Loss, which is the track I mentioned earlier, and that's the collaboration with Navis that was released in 2020. This is a fantastic Tsudio Studio song. However, the vocals are performed by Navis, and it's hip-hop. And this is a little different than what we're usually treated to on a Tsudio Studio album. Give it a chance. It's not the norm for him to release this kind of sound and to release this vocal style, but it sounds so good. Navis are fantastic young musicians, and their vocals with Tsuji's music and his musicianship just work perfectly. I can't recommend it enough. After that, we have a new track called New City. Wonderful, funky bass line, and just the most beautiful keyboard synthesizer sound that I've ever heard. I mean, it absolutely sucked me in the first time I heard it, and it still does every time I listen to it now. It's instrumental, so it doesn't have that classic, slightly auto-tuned sound that Tsuji does, but it really, the instruments speak for themselves. It really works as a beautiful interlude. It kind of sets a bar for, what you can expect for the rest of the track. After that, we have In the Park. This is a new track, obviously, that sounds particularly good. Smooth guitar chords, gorgeous bass line, beautiful vocals from Tsuji. I mean, it sounds like a brand new city pop track that was just unearthed. With just a slightly more modern production. And it kind of helps highlight the fact that auto-tune can be of assistance to the artist rather than a hindrance or a crutch. To be perfectly honest with you, I think In the Park is probably my favorite song off the new record. It really hits checks every single box. It really hits home, and it sounds beautiful. It's relaxing, it's smooth, it's uplifting, it just does everything right. If there's any song on the album that you need to first thing you're gonna listen to just get an idea of what the album is, In the Park's the one. Fly Mango Premium is the next song, and this is more of kind of an intro track for a track halfway through the record. It's a cool melody, it's got a nice bit of drums, it has more of that radio broadcast interference, so it kind of does a bit more of that signal wave sound we talked about earlier, like in Ancient Bossa. And then this serves basically as, like I said, the intro to Promise of Summer. This finally gets released on a full-length album. This is a collaboration with a wonderful Japanese singer. Her name is Halka, and oh my god, there's a reason Promise of Summer got a 12-inch 45 RPM single 2 years prior to the release of My Room. It is infectious, it's beautiful, it has been stuck in my head for 2 years straight. I've not gotten bored of this song ever. It is a classic Tsudio Studio track. Halka's vocals are amazing, his musicianship is perfection, this is funky, it's uplifting, it makes you feel warm. It's summer in a song. There's no better way to put it. After this, we have a song called Airport Reggae. This is a new collaboration with a guy called Wataru Adachi. And this just really kind of sounds like just having a really chill vacation. I mean, it reminds me of the same sort of vibe you get from putting on a Pictured Resort record. Also, shout out Pictured Resort, Koji Takaki, another fantastic Japanese musician. It's you're chilling out by the seaside. You're just strolling through the airport. You're in no hurry. It has a wonderful vibe to it that is pretty much impossible to capture without having that sort of relaxed mindset that Tsudio Studio seems to bring to all of his music. After this, we have Moo Land, and Moo Land is definitely one of my favorite songs off the new album, despite the fact that it did come out a couple years ago on the World's Most Precious Cows charity compilation, organized by one half of YY Music Resort. Very mellow, very relaxed. It's a very sweet song. The chorus, it gets you emotional. It sort of makes you feel like blessed that we have beautiful cows, like that we get to see them, and it's something that you wouldn't really think about, but it just does that to you. This song is so wonderful to listen to, and I think that's really just part of the appeal and the magic of Tsudio Studio is the fact that he can just make you feel all sorts of emotions that you didn't even know you had half the time. I have this vision of him performing Moo Land at a concert and everybody sort of singing the chorus back and forth to each other. So he's singing it, everybody's singing it back at him, and that's probably going to be one of the most beautiful things in the world. The second to last track, Answering Machine, is a sort of short, sweet introduction to the finale. It leads right out of Moo Land and leads right into Telework, the finale of My Room. Starts off slow with a little piano hook, but it just goes straight for the heartstrings. It's got the most beautiful, beautiful flute solo, and it just sort of sets a farewell vibe, and it says goodbye to the listener, and only Tsudio Studio could provide such an unbelievable atmosphere. He has some of the most varied and universal sound that I've ever listened to. You can put on Port Island, you can throw on Soda Resort Journey, you can put on any number of things from him, and they're all going to have a different sort of vibe to them. But he that's the kind of musician that he is. He can make anything. In fact, he even guest appeared on this dream punk album called Light in the Distance. Haunting, heavy, dark electronic music that sounds like Blade Runner. And he was able to contribute to that with these haunting operatic vocals. But then next to that is Moo Land, essentially, and this guy's a genius, and I think My Room is going to be the stepping stone for him, the platform that he needs to go to the next level, which he so wonderfully deserves. Tsuji is a genius, and I can't wait to see what's next from him. My Room is a perfect album. I love it. I will probably never stop listening to it, just like I haven't stopped listening to anything else he's ever made. It touched me emotionally, soulfully, and it's certainly one of the finest albums this year. I'm just happy it exists. Thanks.